ValveTime.net.
Hi, and welcome to the ValveTime News. Each week we'll bring you the biggest talking points regarding Valve and the community. Now the news. Shortly after last week's episode went live, Gabe Newell took to the stage at LinuxCon 2013 to deliver a keynote speech. During the 24-minute speech, Gabe discusses a number of topics, including Valve's current dislike towards closed platforms such as iOS and Windows, and how the company currently views the open nature of the Linux operating system as the future of PC gaming. We highly recommend checking out the talk for yourself, as we aren't going to go into too many more details regarding what Gabe discusses. However, towards the end of the talk, Gabe announces that Valve are set to reveal more information regarding their Linux and hardware pursuits in the following week. An announcement which was followed by another announcement of an announcement. On Friday of this week, members of the press were sent an email highlighting a new living room page on the Steam-powered website. The page, shown here, mentions that the Steam universe is expanding in 2014, before showing a number of rather cryptic images and a picture of a controller-loving cat. The lower half of the page also features a short paragraph describing the nature of how the upcoming announcements will advance Valve's foray into the living room space by adding you to the design process, whatever that means. A countdown clock included under the first image reveals that the first of 3 announcements is set to be revealed at around 5 p.m. GMT on Monday, September the 23rd, 2013. The press release also mentioned that the page will feature 3 announcements. Yes, the number 3, get over it. Anyway, we understand that each of the cryptic images will be related to one of the announcements, and it's highly likely that each announcement will be periodically revealed throughout next week as each countdown timer expires. Whether or not these reveals have anything to do with Valve's Linux gaming PC or the company's streaming controller prototype still remains to be seen, but one thing's for sure, these announcements should be quite something. As always, we'll be sure to keep you posted, so stay tuned to our website front page as well as our Facebook and Twitter social media accounts via links in the video description to stay up to date with all the latest news as it happens. Counter-Strike Global Offensive was subject to an unusual amount of activity this past week, starting with a blog post announcement over on the Counter-Strike website earlier on Monday. The announcement post discusses the recently revealed prize pool for the Counter-Strike Global Offensive tournament at the DreamHack Winter 2013 event in Jönköping, Sweden. The prize pool, which stands at a very respectable $250,000, was announced as being one of the largest prize sums in the history of Counter-Strike tournaments. What makes this particular prize pool especially interesting, however, was the announcement that the sum is the first to be entirely generated through community contributions using the esports weapon cases released alongside the recent ARMS deal update. A percentage of revenue generated from each key for these specific weapon cases is distributed and used to help fund tournament prize pools such as this one, and we're extremely happy to see this kind of response from the community, as while it isn't quite the explosive sum generated by Dota 2's interactive compendium, this kind of thing is only helpful for Counter-Strike, the game's community, and the esporting scene at large. If you're interested in checking out the tournament for yourself, DreamHack Winter 2013 is set to take place between November the 28th and December the 1st, 2013. Counter-Strike Global Offensive received even more attention on Thursday and Friday as the CSGO team announced Operation Bravo, the second community map pack. In a fashion similar to its predecessor, Operation Payback, Operation Bravo includes 8 of the highest quality Steam Workshop submitted maps on official Valve servers for a small fee of $5.99, which works out at around £3.49 if you're in the UK. Remember, this isn't quite the same as a traditional map pack, as, while the maps will only be available for a period of 4 months between September the 20th and January the 20th, a large portion of every sale will be redistributed back to the map creators responsible for the included maps, helping to support both Valve and the community at the same time. Unlike Operation Payback, all Operation Bravo maps can be played in the competitive mode, as well as the previously available casual and deathmatch modes. 7 of the included maps are new additions, but the map pack also features an 8th extra map which appears in the form of Seaside, a returning fan favorite from Operation Payback. The 7 new maps include Agency, Ali, Cache, Chinatown, Gwalior, Ruins, and Siege. The update also introduced 31 new weapon skins, 15 of which can only be found after purchasing an Operation Bravo pass, while the other 16 can be collected by unlocking Bravo weapon cases, which can be found by all players regardless of whether or not they own a pass. While the cases can be found by all players, owning a Bravo Pass will significantly increase a player's drop rate. Be sure to head over to your Counter-Strike Global Offensive game client to pick up an Operation Bravo Pass from the main menu if this news has piqued your interest. Don't forget, only the party leader needs to own an Operation Bravo Pass, so you can still enjoy all the new maps with friends regardless of whether or not they own passes of their own. Dota 2 updates have resurfaced at last after a quiet period following the International 3 tournament back in August, and it appears that the weekly update format which served Dota 2 so well during its development has been retired in exchange for larger content drops, similar to that of Team Fortress 2. The first large content drop for Dota 2 was announced earlier this week in the form of the First Blood update. While the update isn't set to hit the main game client until Monday the 23rd of September, a newly revealed announcement page on the Dota 2 website has shed some light on the upcoming changes, including a number of updates to the in-game backpack, which will now feature far more advanced filters and will be renamed to the Armory. The update will also include more substantial features in the form of new LAN lobbies and Captain's Draft, a new game mode which functions as a hybrid of Captain's Mode and Random Draft. Similar to Captain's Mode, Captain's Draft will allow one player on each team to become the team captain before picking and banning heroes from the available roster. In a fashion similar to Random Draft, only 24 of the total 102 heroes will be randomly selected as a pool for captains to choose from, arguably bringing the best elements of both Captain's Mode and Random Draft together in one game mode. While a whole load of new polycount items will also be introduced with the update, the most interesting new items will arrive in the form of a Portal Pack, which will be sold on the Dota 2 store once the update hits the main client. The Portal Pack will include a number of Portal-centric items including a new HUD, a pair of wards themed after Wheatley and the Space Corps, and of course the GLaDOS Announcer Pack we highlighted a few weeks ago.
Welcome to Dota. It's the hot new game you've been reading about in your eating magazines. Welcome to Dota. It's like chess, for idiots.
If you're looking for more information regarding the First Blood update, be sure to head on over to the announcement page over on the Dota 2 blog, as it includes an extremely lengthy changelog featuring all of the upcoming changes. With just under 40 days until Halloween, Valve have called on the community for assistance with this year's annual Team Fortress 2 celebration. In a fashion similar to previous years, the team at Valve have uploaded a new blog post to the Team Fortress 2 website to announce that they are now looking for community creators to submit Halloween-themed items to the Steam Workshop in order to build up a larger selection of items to distribute during this year's currently unrevealed event. Since the announcement on September the 18th, the TF2 section of the Steam Workshop has seen a rather large influx of great Halloween-themed items, and we highly recommend checking them out to find and vote for your favorites, as Valve will only be considering items which are not just well crafted, but that are also popular with the community. We also recommend heading over to the announcement post over on the TF2 website for more information regarding workshop submissions and Bruce Willis, of all things. Regular viewers will remember last week's episode when we mentioned the recently released Stanley Parable trailer and the game's upcoming launch in October 2013. During this segment, we wrongly assumed the game would be released as a free download similar to its mod predecessor. It was also announced early last week that the Stanley Parable would be released on Steam as a free download sometime in October 2013. Shortly after our episode aired, several users on YouTube and the Facepunch forums began to question the assumption until William, the game's lead developer, took to the Facepunch forums himself to correct us by confirming that the game would indeed require a purchase upon release, highlighting that the game contains 3 times as much content as the original, and that he and Davey very much intend to charge for the game, as the game was created entirely out of their own pockets. While William mentioned that he can't quite mention an exact price point just yet due to a contractual agreement with Valve, we'll be sure to let you know when a definitive price is announced and when a final release date is set into place. And we'll be sure to be more careful with our assumptions in the future. 3A Toys uploaded a new image to the company Facebook wall earlier this week to discuss their upcoming Man vs. Machine robot heavy action figures. The figures, which were revealed in a blurry image several months ago, were shown in greater detail in a photograph accompanying the post. The photo shown here highlights a pair of available figures which for some reason include both red and blue team variants. The post mentions that both large figurines will cost around $220 when it is made available for pre-order on Friday, September the 27th at around 1 AM GMT. We can also presume that the Robot Heavy will feature articulation of some kind and that it will come with a rusty version of the Heavy's minigun. Buyers who purchase the Robot Heavy from the Bambaland store will also be provided with a pair of boxing gloves, which we imagine can be freely swapped out. We've included a link to the Bambaland store in the video description, which we recommend heading over to check out should you want to take a look around before Friday. We also have provided links in the video description for every other topic we've discussed this week, which includes full write-ups on ValveTime.net, blog posts, announcement pages, and much more. That brings us to the end of another week of Valve news. Be sure to head on over to our Dota 2 Announcer Pack on the Steam Workshop to rate us positively to support our efforts. Don't forget to subscribe for more ValveTime videos, news, and reviews coming soon. Glenn and Nick are both heading to London to check out some games at the Eurogamer Expo at Earl's Court from Friday until Sunday, so next week's episode will probably go live a little earlier or a little later than normal. Expect it to see sometime this Thursday, or on Monday, or Tuesday the following week. Until then, I think it's time for most of us to get back to murdering people in Grand Theft Auto 5. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.